Hello, everybody. Welcome to Sara Says, a production of Cousin Sara Productions. Sara Armstrong here. So very happy to have all of you with us today. We're coming to you at a new time today. We're starting at 1 o'clock. And that's going to be our time from now on Wednesdays at 1 o'clock. And we're coming to you from a bit of a different location. So if you hear various noises in the background, don't be alarmed. It's just life passing by. And if you happen to hear a train go by, it really is a train. But don't be alarmed. It's just part of life, just the background noise of the universe. And if we do hear a train, then we know we're on the right track. Haha, little railroad humor there. Anyway, welcome. So glad that you're here. So much appreciate you watching these videos and hope that they have meaning for you. The title of our presentation this week is There Is No App for That. There's no app for that. I've lived in Georgia now coming up on 11 years. And during that time, I've spent some time in various gymnasiums around the county here watching my grandchildren play basketball. I really enjoy watching them, and they win, they lose, and they learn something from whichever way it goes. But somehow I think they learn more when they lose. And they're three very different young people. The eldest son he's very intense about his basketball. He wants to do a good job. So he wants to hit the shot. He wants to make the right move on defense. He wants to make the right pass. And it used to be that when something would go wrong, he would miss a shot, or the referee would give him a call that he didn't like. He couldn't let go of it. And he was grumbling and shaking his head and worried about what he had done wrong. And sometimes he kind of took his own self out of the game because of that. My granddaughter kind of got into basketball because her parents said, you really need some exercise. You really do need to get out and move. And so she got out on the basketball court, but she's a very considerate child, and she says, I don't want to make anybody mad at me, and I don't want to hurt anybody. And she had seen her brother come home with a split lip and all kinds of things, but she didn't want to hurt anybody. So she was kind of tenuous out there on the basketball court. The youngest one, Xavier, was the one who kept up with all the stats. He knew the best players. He watched them. He could tell you who was ahead in shots or fouls or three-pointers. He kept up with all of that. But he was at that age when he was really kind of gangly. You know, have you ever seen those big yellow things they have at the car dealership the balloon, and it's moving around like this and it's not quite coordinated? And that's the way he was. So he didn't do real well out on the court, but he understood the game really well. You know, as I looked at these young people, what I thought was, we live in this age of instant gratification. We live in this age where everything's supposed to go your way and it's supposed to happen now. What is that commercial? I want it all. I want it now. I heard a young man tell his family that he needed an Apple Watch. There are a lot of things you need, but nobody needs an Apple Watch. Facing criticism or failure or disappointment or conflicts, that's something we seldom talk about. And it seems to be okay to meet those kinds of things with anger or force or denial or blaming or posturing. Your life is not a TV commercial. You know, you've seen people, they get fired from a job or laid off, and what do? They go back and perpetrate violence on their coworkers. Or someone gets disappointed in a relationship and stalks the person they think rejected them. There was even a football fan. His college football team lost. He went to the campus of the other team and tried to destroy some property over a football game. They don't know how to cope. They don't know how to handle reality. And it's something you cannot Google and you can't download an app for it. Your life is not a Hallmark movie. It's not going to end up the way everything's fine and everybody's happy and walks off into the sunset. I've even had people, good, strong people of faith, say to me, but I did everything right. I was good. I went to church and I did this and I served and I did that and I tithed. And why is God doing this to me? I don't know anywhere in Scripture where it says if you do everything exactly right, nothing bad will happen to you. It doesn't say that. What it says is, if you believe in me, if you do your best to live your life the best you can, no matter what the circumstances, I am with you. When you fail, when you succeed, I am with you. Through it all, I'm with you. So what can we learn about coping from my grandchildren playing basketball? First, you have to analyze your own behavior when you find yourself in a difficult situation. A lot of times it is not your fault, but you also have to look at it and say, what part did I play in creating this situation? Is it something I did? My grandson had to learn that if he kept getting mad at himself about not being able to make the shot, or the referee made a call or missed a call, that he was not being present for the other members of the team, and he wasn't doing the best he needed to do. And so he stopped doing it. He made a conscious effort. Okay, bad call, missed a shot, keep going. And that self-analysis helped him when he got to high school and he finished school. He decided he really didn't want to play basketball anymore. He had offers in college, but he said no because his heart wasn't in it. Look at your own behavior and say, could I have done something different? The second thing, learn. Learn from every experience in your life. Good ones, bad ones especially. Can you learn a new skill? Can you learn something about other people and how to look at them and how to judge them? Can you learn a new direction? My granddaughter was out there on the floor and she's very timid and tenuous. And then somebody said, you know what? You're really tall. Put your arms up, stand in front of the player, and you can be a great defender. And she found out if she did that, they couldn't go around her and they couldn't go over her. And then she found out she could block shots. And then she found out she could block the shot, catch the ball, throw it to a teammate who would go score. Or she could take the ball and go score. And she developed and learned, and now she is a beast on the basketball court. Because she learned from every loss, from every win, from every play. Number 3, never stop trying. My gangly little grandson, he practiced, he drove us crazy. He was bouncing basketballs in the house. He was bouncing imaginary basketballs. He was shooting imaginary three-pointers. He was in the driveway practicing every day. He never quit, and his body began to react, and he began to coordinate himself. And now when he goes out on the floor, he dribbles between his legs, and he's a floor general, and he gets it done. In Proverbs, it says, for a righteous person fails 7 times and rises again, but the wicked are overthrown by calamity. That if something happens, they just fall apart. But you get up again and you keep trying. Even if you're not a football fan, this Super Bowl, this past Sunday, those 2 teams played to the end. Both of them, they never gave up. One won, one lost, but they gave it their all. And that's what we have to do. Stay in the fight. Give it your all, even when things go against you. In the book of James, it says, consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters. Whatever you face, whatever trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Let perseverance finish its work, so you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything. I'm going to say that part again. Let perseverance finish its work, so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything. Good, bad, ugly. Analyze your own behavior. Learn something and never give up. And always know that God is with you, that God is for you. That in the darkest time, that is when your faith is what you depend on. And that faith is something that you can't search and you can't download. You have to develop it and hold on to it. And every failure is a lesson to be learned and new strength to be gained. Think about that the next time something doesn't go right. Count it all as joy. Learn something and persist. Thank you for being here today. We'll be back again 1 o'clock on Wednesday. And remember, Sara says, true success is not measured by the size of your bank account, but on how you handle failure. True growth is not measured by how famous you are, but by the knowledge you gain from the detours and the potholes of life. Coping is being willing to change, being eager to learn, and having the passion to persist. Being willing to change, being eager to learn, and having the passion to persist. And through it all, know that God has a tight hold on you and will see you through. Have a wonderful week. See you next Wednesday. Like us, share us, subscribe to our YouTube channel. We love you. Bye.